quite quiet in this space, so if you're towards the back, you might need to come a little bit closer to hear it. Disaster Recovery Magnetic Tapes. The spider plant is wilting and the world is fading. I step outside and there is a dead sparrow on the pavement beside my door. Its feathers smooth and unruffled, like it has been doused in oil. Outside, office windows gleam like the molten skin of robots. The city is full of empty streets where seagulls pick at oyster shells, scallops and cold casings. Across the road, a girl sits in her room, peeling the skin from an orange. I watch the spot of red rise and fall behind the glass, touching her lips like colour is a kind of utterance. There is something about the shape of her window cut into the concrete that makes me think of the high rise where my aunt lived, cigarette in hand, gesturing at nothing. Her home overlooking a field of astroturf, kids playing basketball, eating cola bottles and flying saucers. Everything is primary colours except the moon, settled neatly in its shell, pearl white against the endless blue. I remember the disaster well. The plane came down over the Atlantic and no one could find the wreckage. People cried, people were secretly delighted. They sent divers to the deepest reaches of the ocean, a subterranean world of caves filled with kelp and algae, leaching oxygen from the water. For weeks after the news, I dreamed I was a parasite, a soft body clinging to the unreflective surface of a skyscraper, unable to see myself against the tempered glass. In London, the streets are full of fact checkers, the job listings full of temporary positions. The rivers are full of shells that have grown as sharp as my mother's tongue. I tasted an oyster at Borough Market and it was acidic. It burnt my lips and I felt rejected. I wanted to take a train to the sea, but the underground was full of incidents. Someone threw themselves against the tracks and I felt inconvenienced. I remember the disaster well. The building came down in Kensington and I had lost my keys that day. I'd left them in a jar of honey. They say they found a cat in the flames, its body empty, bones, rugged crests like the ridge of a tooth you wet your tongue against. At lunchtime, I ate a slice of apple from a plastic packet, 2 scoops of whipped cream, and 3 Lego blocks. The cream wasn't very good, but the apple was delicious. In the garden of a fashionable South London gallery, a spider makes its home amongst the bricks, spinning threads to connect stone with stone. The bricks are intricately arranged in lattices, daisies bursting through the cracks, curls and fronds of green peeking through honeycombed concrete, as delicate as lacework. Above the garden towers a 60s council estate, windows the colour of chlorine, angles mirroring the bricks below. Inside the tower, a woman runs herself above, the garden just visible through the plastic shower curtains. She is clutching an ice pop, which has melted in the heat, and the blue liquid runs in rivulets across her skin, so that standing there, watching over the garden, she is caught in the act, the blue-handed woman. In the bathtub, a starfish unfurls itself so carefully, its stomach pulsing, body contorting, curling towards the light, posing around an echo. I remember the disaster well. The bomb came down over the city and people were horrified. People bought merch declaring their allegiance. People gave up drinking, and I became convinced that we would never stop speaking in platitudes. I grew up in a chaotic household. My father is an alcoholic. The thing about parents is you get used to their quirks. The bombs came down again and again, and I kept postponing my anger, waiting for the right moment, kept turning up at marches, feeling nothing but hunger and a sense of
The landing areas
disaffection.
were secure as the main invasion force.
In deep space, the woman rests. She is brown-skinned, beautiful, her body encased in a shroud of gold, eyes closed, shoulders brushed with glitter. She spins and revolves through the cosmos so peacefully, hair encircled by a halo of light, her head ringed by fields of small objects, bobby pins, flying ants, paper clips. The sound of space is the opposite of white noise. It is a soft and hollow sound, the definition of safety. A gentle buzz, a heady, lo-fi melody. The scene a time capsule, the ghost of an ending written in the sickly, unloved body of a star. Somewhere south of the Milky Way, a blue whale drifts towards a lonely planet, its dull call mirroring the sound a plane makes when it is lost behind the clouds. I remember the disaster well. Everything is narrowing. Progress is a feeling of things ending, things coming to a pass. A lizard scuttles up a wall. A stray terrapin scrabbles in the canal, looking for home. Outside of the present, there's an unmarked land, an empty plain filled with ryegrass and dog's tail and marrow, and above it all a waxing sun, its light falling so softly, casting ashes on the earth.